Hey, why you came to me with
Previous two.
Oh, you were in Denver last year? Oh, okay. Okay.
If I'm going to be taking credibility seriously, because this is going to reading materials, watching materials, listening to people directly talking to people.
Sure.
So do you feel that you had enough information, I guess, from previous events in your research to come out with the book? Or I guess so.
Yeah. I mean, I've simply added a few things since then. So, something like that. It's a big subject. A lot of angles to it.
Right.
So it's I'm not. I mean, just because I read a book doesn't mean I'm finished. I'm not done. So.
What's your next step? Like, are you interested in like debating a prominent flat earther, or
Not terribly.
not really?
What was your? I haven't looked at your book yet. So, what's the thesis of your book itself? Is it just a general approach to the topic?
The subtitle is a refutation of flat Earth claims. And I look at biblical arguments. I get a history of the movement. I give a history of man's understanding of the
Okay. I'll have to check that out. I just came across my radar in the past week, so I will definitely check that out. Now, when you talk about it's not your first, it's not the end of your approach. Are you gonna do edited versions, or are you gonna do 2 volumes?
I'm continuing to learn. No, I have no plan for a second volume.
Oh, okay.
Second edition.
Okay.
I'm continuing to learn. Preceded my book by a dozen I started those articles. I hadn't write on to it, so I'll probably blog on sort of several weeks from the blog to get back.
So just real quick, what's your take on what the biblical concept of firmament is?
I would prefer not. Only in the sense that, I have no control over what happens to it from there. Not that I
Even if it's just audio? Even if it's just audio?
Yeah, I would not prefer that either. Because, again, I have no
Okay.
control.
Well, the problem is that now it's going to be hearsay. That's all.
I understand. Maybe
I won't do it.
Maybe I could do something in writing with you at some point. That's a meeting.
Is there an opportunity for anybody to do that with your book, or maybe an answers with Genesis?
You can
That would be an interesting.
He's working on this documentary called The Plain Truth.
Plain Truth documentary. So we've been interviewing primarily the speakers and whatnot, but I asked you, a different question was, what is your understanding of the biblical concept of what the firmament is?
Written on this in several places, including another two from which I've written in other places. The thing that God separated the waters on day 2 with, these waters expands out the rock. I don't think the rock Genesis 1 is the same rock mentioned in Ezekiel. I think the rock mentions in obviously the God that the heavenly bodies and in the same Lord Dixon is under this stuff but I do believe that cosmology is a bit ambiguous. Cosmology is not the word cosmology is
The Genesis.
History of the cosmology is a structure. So, from my understanding tonight, as I would I would say
So, are you a literalist in terms of understanding the Bible literally?
no, because there are a lot of non-literal things in the Bible.
But the literal creation in Genesis 1
I like
in
to
terms
say it's a
of...
historical narrative. When you read historical somewhat literal thing, except for religious speech is pretty clear. It's a factual case. It's not like poetic or prophetic books that have a tremendous amount of imagery and allegory and symbols. So I shy away from using the word literal in that sense because that's really loaded. Because if I say, yeah, everything in the Bible is literal, I take the Bible literally, all you have to do is point out that Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. Well, there's no record he ever tended any sheep. He was a carpenter or a construction worker. He said he was the bread of life. He said he was the living water. He said he was the door. He told the disciples he was the vine and they were the branches. Then he started talking about pruning. Obviously those are metaphors.
Yeah.
So when some people here would proclaim that everything in the Bible is literal, and had a woman the other night talking about that. And that's nonsense. She didn't believe everything in the Bible is literal. But when you go to Genesis, it is historical. It is a very straightforward sort of.
So what do you think the choice of the term rakia? Because, or how about this? What's your understanding of the literal Hebrew meaning of rakia? What would you say?
It means expanse. I know several world-class Hebraism, and they tell me that. Martin Luther, 500 years ago, wrote that's what he meant. He was mystified as to why the Septuagint rendered that stereomorph. That's not what it means, he said. He said it means expanse. But then in his German translation, he used the German equivalent of stronghold, which I'm saying, wait a minute, maybe he wrote his commentary on Genesis after the translation. I don't know. But it does mean something that's been expanded or stretched.
I would say, in my opinion, I think the expanse or sky, because we talk about different translations like the NIV is what's the word? It's where you're just trying to get the idea through, right? It's not a literal translation. It's a dynamic translation.
And that's how much dynamic equivalence. You're right. Most translation or interpretation work, they do that. They don't go word for word. Word order is different and so forth. And so there's no such thing as a totally literal translation. The King James is not totally literal.
Yeah.
It does depart from time to time. In the NIV, it's a little loosey. I like the NIV generally, at least I have. But all translations have their good points and bad points.
The reason why I ask is because when I did look up the etymology of rakia, it says that it's a hammered out piece of metal, like copper. So the etymology goes back to something that's been
one way. Well, the word raka, which is a verb, means to stamp or press out. It is used to talk about taking the bronze plates from Korah's rebellion. They hammered it out. They rock-cawed it.
Right.
Also, when they were making the vestment for Aaron, they rock-cawed gold and made leaf out of it and cut it to make threads to weave in. Also, one of the prophets, I believe, talks about silversmiths, rock-cawing silver. So we got three different metals. But then people say, then the rakia, the noun that comes from the verb rock, must refer to some property of the object of the verb. And that isn't how languages work. When you make a noun out of a verb, it's based upon the action of the verb. It's never some property of the object of the verb. What are you doing? You're pounding it out, stretching it out, spreading it out. The raka is also used elsewhere as stomping with the foot. The whole idea when you do this, whatever this raka action is, it tends to stretch and spread things out.
That's how God did the dome. He
stomped on it. So I think people really go off, really err when they try to say it must be hard because metals are hard because that's what's always being used for raka, and that's not the case. Also, to get the meaning, it's not just coming from the 17 times it appears in the in rakia in the Old Testament, and how many times raka occurs. It occurs about 20 times, I think. You need to look at other ancient Semitic languages, and that's where a person who's a true Hebraist is at their best. A true Hebraist not only knows ancient Hebrew, but he also knows a dozen or more related ancient Semitic languages, and you can find the root raka found in those other languages, and that can illuminate the meaning that's intended there, because some of those words are not used very often, and that's problematic. That help?
It does. I just think that I think I would tend to
put more credence on the denotation of the word itself rather than a connotation. So I think that expanse is more of a derivative, that they're, okay, so we're talking about the sky, we're talking about that which is above us, and that's very expansive, right? It's everywhere. So I tend to think when I read expanse that that's more of just an interpretation that's more of a connotation, like we think that it's talking about that. I think that it's probably having more to do with a barrier of some sort. As a denotation, because of what you said with the verb to stamp out, because you can't stamp out air. So it's just interesting. Why would you choose a word that happens to be correlative to metallurgy somewhat?
And other uses besides metallurgy.
All right. Thanks, Danny.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Welcome.
All right.
Hey, Danny, real quick. Do you know Lee Strobel, Case for Christ?
I don't know him, but I know.
But
I know
you've
his
heard
book.
of it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I appreciate what you're doing here, so kind of hope that it turns out a little bit like that. You know, trying to debunk it.
Okay.
You know,
I appreciate
at
that.
first, and then getting on board.
Very good.
Yeah.
Alex, where are you from?
Yeah, Springfield, Virginia.
All right. Over in the Blue Ridge.
Close, near DC.
Yeah. All right. Springfield.
Yeah, near Alexandria.
Is it over there? I thought for some reason it was over in the Shenandoah Valley.
No, I don't know if Springfield's
really?
over there. Yeah.
Huh.
No, it's the suburbs of DC.
All right. My bad. All right.
All right, take care.